So today we're going to do a soft maple. We have some videos on hard maple, but I already have some mixed up. This is just going to be your dye stain solution. And if there's any problems with mixing your dyes, you can just gently warm up your solution in the microwave and stir it every like 15 seconds. You don't want to get it too hot. Well, here I'm just going to end up taking this yellow-brown dye solution and I'm going to put it over the top of this soft maple. All I did with this was I ended up sanding it down with 180 grit sandpaper and a 220 grit sandpaper over that. So that's pretty much my preparation, because you can use wood sealers and things like that, but what I'm going to end up doing with this is I'm going to apply this dye stain, and then I'm going to end up sanding it back, and then when I sand it back, then I'll put a second coat over the top of that. And when you're working with dyes, I'm using water dyes because it's nice to have the penetration with the water, because that's what the wood naturally takes in. So it works so much better, and you can make some pretty nice, rich, vibrant colors. If you check out some of our other videos where we made the green and the purple, you can see that you can achieve some pretty decent color with the watercolors. So I'm going to let this dry out, and then we'll come back for the rest of the process. I'll probably have it sanded out, so we'll be right back. So what I did was I just put the first coat of the yellow mix that I put in there. All this was the yellow with a little bit of brown, as you saw earlier. So I sanded this back now with 240 grit sandpaper, and since this is the soft quilted maple, it's it has a little more left on there, so, but it is smooth. This is all prepped now for the next coat of what I'm going to put on. So I'm going to probably make this like an orange. So I'm just putting on the second coating of the Keda dye mix that I put together here. This is the transparent version of our dye stain. So I'll let this dry out, I'll come back, and we'll go on to the next step. So this is the yellow, the Keda dye sunflower yellow with a little bit of brown that I put on there. I sanded this back, and I ended up putting a second coat over the top of it. So that's just the two coats, and that'll also help prepare the wood like a wood conditioner would. So now I want to create kind of like an orange, almost like a burst. So I've already prepared some of the red. I'm just adding a little bit more. And you can also add a little bit of black or a brown to this if you wanted to darken the red up. I mean, you get the 5 colors, so I mean you can kind of mix and match any color red, any of these colors. I mean, you can really kind of create any kind of color that you want to make out of the other 5 just by mixing the 5 colors in various amounts. So it really gives you so much flexibility with one, instead of having to buy all these other separate colors. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm just going to dab some of this on here. And again, if I was doing a serious project, I'd probably end up making like the French ball like other people do, but I'm just trying to give a video demonstration of the transparent dye stain, as opposed to the other videos that we have out there with the concentrated colors for just making a solid kind of a color. Because I think that's where people are kind of getting confused with our kit. So, like I said, I'm just going to start dabbing this on. Now I just dabbed over the top of this yellow while it was still a little bit damp, probably about a half hour, 45 minutes after I put the second coat of the yellow on over. Usually I do about 3 of them, but this one I'm not trying to go with so much of the yellow on the back side. So I'm going to let this dry and we'll come back and I'll show you how it dries out. So this is the results of the orange, where I ended up applying the Keda dye yellow with a little bit of the golden brown. I ended up seal coating it. I put a first coat of shellac over the top of it. I sprayed that on because I just like spraying personally. And after that I ended up sanding it, and then I French polished a couple times and sanded it in between each coat. And then for my last one I ended up spraying again. And, our next video we're going to end up making is touch up. If you end up sanding through, and a little trick that you can use to touch up. Again, thanks for watching, and the Keda dye kit comes with 5 colors of brown, blue, yellow, red, and black for $9.99, free shipping and handling in the US. So thanks for watching, and check us out at www.kedadyeinc.com because it really is a very nice dye system.